Topeka police officer injured in shootout with murder suspect, KBI says. This was written on KAKE.com, published originally on Thursday, September 29th, 2022. Let's go to Topeka, Kansas. A Topeka police officer was shot in an exchange of gunfire with the murder suspect Thursday morning, according to the Kansas Bureau of Investigation. Topeka officers responded around 9:30 a.m. to the report of a shooting in the 3500 block of Southwest Kelly Avenue. They arrived to find one person dead and another injured. The second person was taken to a local hospital, and they are in stable condition as of the writing of this story. Investigators with TPD quickly identified the suspect and began working to locate them, the KBI said. The relationship between the suspect and the homicide victim was domestic in nature. At around 10:40 a.m., Topeka officers located the suspect's car near the city's High Crest neighborhood, and a high-speed pursuit ensued. It ended near 6th and Kansas in downtown Topeka. The KBI said multiple agencies, including the Shawnee County Sheriff's Office, responded to the scene where the suspect fired at law enforcement several times. Multiple officers returned fire. At least one officer was struck by the suspect's gunfire during this incident. This officer is receiving medical treatment at a local hospital, the KBI said in a release. The officer has since been treated and released. In a news conference with local law enforcement, they confirmed that the suspect was critically injured in the gunfire exchange and was taken to the hospital. This was a chaotic episode that was the result of a violent suspect who displayed extreme indifference to life and safety of those within my community, a Topeka police official said in the news conference. His actions were without regard to anyone else than himself. The Kansas Bureau of Investigations will be leading an investigation into the incident. And that's all there is to the story. Most Americans have never been to Topeka, Kansas, never will go to Topeka, Kansas. And if you're watching this and you are in Topeka, Kansas, I am not trying to tarnish your city's legacy or slander the people there or the law enforcement there. I am not anti-police. And also, by the way, for anybody who's listening, I'm not a Democrat. I've given my political views before, but I'll just say this: how many more police officers have to be injured? How many more police officers have to be killed? How many more regular civilians have to be killed by other civilians and also by police who presume they have weapons, because so many Americans are armed and the police are in rightful fear to be wary that a citizen could open fire on them or shoot them and kill them? How many more times do situations like this have to happen before Americans realize that the gun culture that we've been indoctrinated with to believe in, that makes us safe, free, and American, is a lie? It's all BS. It's all BS. In other countries, the police are not shooting people willy-nilly, and other people are not targeting the police or shooting at the police because they do not have the capacity to do such. But in America, we allow so many guns to permeate legally and illegally. And by the way, all illegal guns are once purchased legally. Guns do not just fall from the ground or come up or not fall from the ground, come up from the ground or fall from the sky unless they're airdropped by Americans in countries where we're trying to instigate instability, right, and topple their governments, right? That's the only way guns tend to fall from the sky. But the guns that continue to permeate America allow these sorts of situations and stories to continue to happen. And too many Americans think this is normal. This is a story that most Americans have not heard of. They've been caught up in the celebrity gossip and all the drama that's been happening on Twitter and all the other stuff that's been happening on Facebook. Meanwhile, real Americans living their daily lives are dying, literally dying, or being hurt by gun violence. There have been over 590 mass shootings in the United States of America in 2022 alone. An unheard of number, unless you look at the last year, where there were over 1,000 mass shootings in 2021 in the United States. Some people will say that the good guys with guns will stop the bad guys with guns, and so the police need to be better trained and prepared to deal with these sorts of criminals, and criminals will get guns anyway. First and foremost, the police could have hurt innocent civilians by shooting at this guy. I believe there was the incident in Los Angeles that happened earlier this year, if not at the very end of last year, with this girl who was visiting from Peru or Chile or something like that, went to the United States in LA, and the police were stopping some madman, and they ended up shooting and killing her, right? this innocent bystander, which does happen. There was also the mass shooting, I believe, in Denver, Colorado, where the police were stopping some guy who dropped his weapon and then ended up shooting in the crowd and hitting 8 people. So we don't need to have more and more guns to make us safe from guns. That just doesn't make sense. And secondly, criminals will do criminal things, and therefore banning all guns will not stop criminal behavior. Yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. A criminal, somebody who has it on their mind to get a gun, shoot people, or hurt people, will find the capacity to do such. Those people exist almost in every other country, but they are not able to go through with their twisted end goal or dream of becoming the next mass shooter because they do not have the capacity to reach the weapons. It is very hard to get them. Therefore, we are able to stop the people. It's very simple. We don't hear about mass shootings at the frequency, not saying they never happen, but at the frequency that they happen in the United States, in Canada, Germany, France, Spain, the UK, etc. And for anybody who's going to come in this video and say, why don't you leave America? I did. You're welcome. Please go check out my other content. My name is Simon Hill. Abolish the Second Amendment. Thank you for watching.